Instant reaction time. Me and Dustin are back together. We are going to be giving our instant reaction thoughts on a what? How do you want to describe this movie? A trailer that got beat to death. I think that
the
everybody
the
was pretty.
most the most marketed movie of all time.
Yeah, yeah. Blumhouse kind of said to hell with Night Swim, Imaginary, and what was the other one we saw? Be
Afraid,
afraid, afraid.
afraid.
And they said, "Hey, you're going to see Speak No Evil's trailer, by God." And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Speak No Evil 2024, uh, led by the great James McAvoy.
Yep.
General thoughts for me: was this trailer beat to death? Yes, it was. But my half of the thoughts on this show is I enjoyed it a lot. I had a good time with it. I think it's because I went in with low expectations. I didn't have my bar set like when I went to go see Longlegs or Maxine. Like it wasn't like it's got to be perfect for me to be satisfied. Uh, I had fun with it. Like James McAvoy was fantastic. I thought all the acting was good for the most part. I mean, there are frustrating character things and choices, and we'll touch on that when we get to the cons. But like I said, if you don't do that stuff, you don't have a movie. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. Overall, I thought it was. I had a good time with it. I'm not mad about it. Dustin, I don't think you agree with me though.
No, I mean it was okay. This movie, I felt like I'd already seen it before I saw it, and then I went and saw it, and I still felt like, yep, I'd already seen that. Like everything that happened was completely predictable. Like I felt like I expected everything in the movie, and I don't know if that's because of the trailers. Like we saw so many trailers, and there was like two or three different trailers that we saw, but we
Yep.
saw them every time that we would go to the movies for the past 3 months. I feel like, and so I felt like I'd already seen this movie. James McAvoy stole the show, but also, I mean, Mackenzie Davis was great. I'm gonna say this wrong, but Franciosi, I thought was great. Scoot McNairy, his character, I'll get into that one later, but
God, what a fucking chode.
yeah, but I mean, McAvoy was incredible, like I expected him to be. He's an elite actor. But the story was very formulaic. The tension was basically non-existent, and I don't know if that's because of the trailers and like I expected them to be bad people. I think honestly, they should have just I don't know how you would market it, but not let us know that Patty and what was her name, Sierra. Don't let us know
Yep.
that they're bad people.
Yep.
Like
I
let
got
that
the
be a
Internet Movie
twist.
Database pulled up.
Yeah, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I went in with low expectations like you. I said that I think this movie is going to be mid, and mid it was. But I had fun with it for what it was.
That's fair. Let's just jump into our positives. James McAvoy. I mean, let's just get the obvious out of the way. Uh, ever since the movie, I saw the movie Split. Like, I know he's going to play unhinged and out of his mind. He's going to be great. And shout out to James McAvoy. How old is this guy? He is 1979. He's in his late ish 40s, mid 40s. Man is yoked. Goodness gracious. Shout out to that guy. I mean, I'm not attracted to guys, but good looking fella. I agree with you though. Mackenzie Davis as Louise Dalton. I mean, obviously she had some frustrating moments, with character decisions, which we'll talk about. But I said in my TikTok react or review, like she reminded me a little bit of Aaron from Your Next, like toward when it at the end of the movie, like when it was time to let's get out of here, let's survive. Like she wasn't playing around. Like she killed when she had to kill, and just we're gonna spoil it. Let's just say that now we're
Yeah,
gonna spoil
spoiler.
this movie. I mean, by God, it's a remake of a movie that's only 2 years old. I have heard, just as a disclaimer, I've heard the other one is different, like the ending and all that. So I don't know if I don't have that perspective of seeing the original and reflecting on this one. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. I agree with you. Aisling, Franciosi, Sierra. I thought she was great as well. She was really unhinged. Like she was really evil, but she kind of tried to play that like I'm a victim as well too. I thought she
Hmm.
was great. I thought both the kids were great. Dan Huff, I guess is how you say his name, the little boy, Ant. I thought he did great, like portraying like his fear when he could, and
Yeah.
like I will disagree with you a little bit. I won't say the movie was tense, but it was really awkward and uncomfortable in spots.
Well, There was uncomfortable moments like at dinner when she dropped the napkin. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was like,
But
I know she's not sucking this guy's dick in front of this couple. I know she's not doing that.
bro
I,
was
I
just
actually
maintaining
I
eye
thought he was
contact.
though.
I
I
did
thought he
too.
was though.
And Buddy's just making eye contact across the table. I was like, oh, this is awkward.
But yeah, I mean, I thought the acting I thought was really good. The scenery was beautiful. I thought the kills were good, like what we saw. I thought the Mackenzie Davis, I thought she was resourceful, like when she got the going. And I really liked Dan Huff Ant, like showing Agnes like that secret room. Like I thought that was
Mhm.
really cool. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Now I have plenty of cons, and we'll talk about them. But I had a good time with it, and the trailer obviously did spoil way too much. But I'll go ahead and let you give your positives, and we'll get to our negatives and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much are in agreement on the positives. James McAvoy is the biggest one. Mackenzie Davis, which, if you listen to our DGOT, the series, and we're on Black Mirror right now, she's in the upcoming episode that we're doing. And so it was
Really?
cool. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's in San Junipero. And so that was kind of cool. I've seen her 2 days in a row or 2 out of the last 3 days and something I'm watching. And Aisling Franciosi is in Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I plan to pick for us to review eventually. I saw that movie in theater last year before, whenever it came out. But they were all great. Dan Huff, you said it, like, for a kid to have zero lines in a movie and still portray emotions like he did, like that was great. He put on a brave face when he had to. He showed his panic and his fear and vulnerability when he had to. Um, I thought that there was some really, like you said, some really uncomfortable moments, and I think that that was perfect. Like some of the comedy and some of the cultural differences that they put into the movie, I thought were very well timed and well placed. Um, when the Danish people are at the restaurant, and he's like, "Oh, I'll take care of this. Hey, do you want to join us for dinner? Hey, when you wipe your ass, do you fold or do you scrub?" Like that was funny as hell. Um,
Yeah, the movie is low key funny. Like there's a lot of
yeah,
funny
it is.
spots.
And I'll get into one of the funny spots when I get to my cons. I'll let you try to think about what that is. But I just, like I said, it's an okay movie. I just didn't think that there was anything groundbreaking or unexpected happen in it. Maybe that's because of the trailers, but hats off to the marketing department, because they beat me over the head with this trailer so many times that I felt like obligated to go see it.
Well, we're obligated because we got to make hashtag content, but
Oh yeah,
understood.
true, true.
I
Same.
mean, we're about to go see a 2 hour and 20 minute movie this week
Oh
that we
Jesus,
have
yep.
like no info about. All right,
Yeah,
we'll get into our cons now. I'm just going to touch on the trailers first. They're. I know you want to market a movie, you want to get the hype out there, you want to get the word out, you want people to, you want butts in seats, and you want to make money. I get that 100%. You got James McAvoy, who's well known. He was in a huge Blumhouse movie a few years ago, was Split, and was fantastic. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But the trailer was literally shown before like every movie that I've saw this year. And I know you can probably say the exact same
yeah,
thing. And there are at least what 2 or 3 different trailers that they've shown. Like
yep.
literally every movie we've seen for instant reaction this year, I'm willing to bet if I made it to the movies on time, I saw a Speak No Evil trailer, and it was on YouTube like crazy. And the bad thing about the trailer is kind of like Abigail, they showed way too much. Like
Hmm.
I think Abigail would have been a lot better for me. I mean, and I still liked Abigail, but you knew the twist of Abigail going into it. So it's like, all right, I
Yeah,
already knew that. But this one, it's like, if you cut that scene like with the little boy screaming and you see he has no tongue, that scene is a lot better. You showed a lot of James McAvoy's and the awkward tension scenes in the trailer. And I understand like I'm a bass fisherman. See the Bass Pro Shops hat? If you want a fish to bite, you got to throw a lure they want to eat. So I get it, but sometimes you got to go for one big fish instead of like 30 small ones. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense at all, you got to throw a little bit out there.
hmm,
They just spoil too much. And I mean, I still liked it, but would I have liked it more if there were some of those tense scenes that were shown, not shown? I think I would. All right, let's talk about Scoot McNairy as Ben Dalton. This guy, I think, has negative levels of testosterone in his body.
yeah.
he, he was pathetic. Like he pissed me off. Like, and I understand like they're in this weird situation, like where they want to make friends. They're in a bad spot financially. They think they've met some people they can hang out with. You're trying to hang out. You're trying to vibe, but too much weird stuff is going on that you keep putting up with, and you don't like stand up for your wife and family ever. Like the wife is like she's having to do everything, and it's like it's embarrassing as a man seeing that. I was disappointed. Like this guy has like negative toxic masculinity in his. Like I was like he was the most frustrating part to me. Dustin, what did you think?
Oh, dude, he sucked. I first of all, he's kind of a cuck. I know that his wife
Kind
was
of.
getting dick pics. Yeah, she was getting dick pics sent to him, but that's one thing. But when this guy that I just met starts kissing my wife on the cheek and the neck, I'm gonna say something. And then the way he just cried and cowered and like a little pussy when shit was going down. Nah, brother, that don't work for me. Um, but as far as my other negatives, I the trailers, yeah, like I said, I felt like I'd already seen the movie and nothing happened in it. There should have been some other twist, and we just didn't have it. The only time that like even a jump scare got me was when they're looking out the window trying to throw the Molotov cocktail on the roof, and that
That
first
gunshot
shotgun
it
blast
scared the shit
that
out of me.
is loud as fuck. That's why it got me. Um, so there was that, and then it wasn't supposed to be funny, but it
Oh boy.
was.
Oh boy.
Is at the end when Ant is just smashing his head in. I laughed my ass off
he
because,
he let his frustrations out.
well, not just that, but like he is pounding his face in. He is just absolutely smashing Patty, and the camera cuts to Louise and Ben and Agnes, and they're just standing there, just like staring with these dumbfounded looks on their face. And I'm sorry, but that shit was funny to me, and it was not. It was supposed to be a very emotional moment, but it turned out being funny because I don't know if it's because, like I said, the camera going back to them, and they were just like, "Huh." Like I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't know. So it took away.
They should have kept the camera on him and like had him cry or had a big scream or something like where he felt
Yeah,
relief. Not, I mean, because cutting to their face, it's like when I just watched Pearl because it's a 2 year anniversary, and it's like when she's talking about how much she hates Howard, then they cut to Mitzi's face, and like she's like shocked. Like I laughed at that the first time I saw it too. So I feel you. Like stay on like the dramatic face.
yeah. Or if you don't, at least have the people that you cut to look like they're truly mortified. They did not look mortified. They look like they were watching a hot dog be made. It's just like, oh, that's it. Like they looked a little disgusted, freaked out, but they weren't. They weren't scared. Like they should have been terrified, mortified.
Did you get a
But
glizzy tonight at the movie theater?
no, I wish I did. But no, I went to Steak and Shake before I went to the movies. But
Hell
anyway,
yeah, brother.
so there was that, and like I said, it just it. I felt like I saw it. I was trying to think. I thought of something else. I forgot. Go ahead if you.
The hot dog thing threw me all off. I will say this as well: the runtime could have been cut a little,
Oh,
like two
absolutely.
hours. I mean, hour what was it, hour and 55 minute runtime,
Hour 50 minutes, I think.
hour 50. Yeah, I mean, you could cut 10 to 15 of this.
Easily 15, if not 20,
Yeah, I mean,
because
come on.
like we already know where we're going because the trailer tells us where we're going. So we don't need so much of that backstory of how they got here. We don't need the false finish when they're like, "Oh, we're leaving." Oh no, we can't. We got to go back. She forgot her fucking rabbit, which was another thing. No, sorry, I'm not a parent, so maybe I'm not the most qualified person to speak on this, but she's got to get over that shit. A
Yeah,
stuffed animal? No, sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, I was about to touch on that as well. There's a lot of moments throughout this movie where you're like, what are they doing? Like, why are you not leaving it? Because there's so many awkward situations from Patty and Sierra. Like they just do weird stuff and just like they like I listened to Jeremy John's review. It's like the mask is dropping like even like real early in the movie. Like Patty takes the little girl, what's her name? I can't remember, Agnes, on like this little
Agnes.
motorcycle ride and they don't have helmets and like they're really against it, but he still takes her and like Like that's a stranger. Like he's taking your little girl. Like what if he's like a child predator? Like you don't know that. Like you don't know these people. And then Louise says she's a vegan, and this was in the trailer, and they force her to eat goose or whatever it was. I think it was a goose that he cooked.
It was
It's
Goose.
like, dude, like it was disrespectful to his wife, and of course the husband didn't stick up for her. Fucking cuck,
Mm.
like you said, and like guy
Yeah,
pisses
dude.
me off. And then James is kissing all over her all the time, like hugging her like extra. It's like, dude, you got to get and the sheets,
Ugh.
whatever that stain was. Like I can
Yeah,
only imagine.
he said that's an old stain. That makes it even worse.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that
think
makes
maybe
it.
not. I don't know. It's gross.
It's like, dude, and yeah, like you mentioned, they didn't bother me to the point where I hated the movie because I kind of felt like I knew where they were coming from. Like they were in really bad financial strain. There was a strain in the marriage. They kind of were just trying to fight through it. But eventually, you got to like when you drive off that first time, we're not going back for no stuffed rabbit. We'll get you a new one, or you can just get the hell over it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm not qualified either because I'm not a parent. I understand kids can cry and moan and whine and they want their stuffed teddy bear, they want their rabbit. I get it, but hey, we might die here. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to get out of here.
Yeah. To me, this
And why
movie
not
was
just
not.
drive through the fence?
They didn't even try.
I mean, I know they wanted to jump in to save the little boy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I'm this might make me sound like a terrible person, but if I'm in that car driving away and I see that fence shutting, I got to protect my wife and daughter before I protect that little boy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, so I think we've said a lot in this 18 minutes. We talked 17 minutes, wherever we're at right now. I'll be honest, I had a good time with it. I would watch it again. I'm sure we'll review this movie down the road. I am looking forward to watching the original. I've heard the original is actually more bleak. I've heard it's better from some people. I've heard it's worse from some people. I did make a TikTok on that as well. A lot of people complained or brought up the fact that why are you making a movie that's only 2 years old? And hey, I hear you. But I did see on the Internet Movie Database and online, the director of the original, his name is Christian Tafdrup. He was an executive producer on this movie. And from what I saw online is he just wanted more people to see the movie, so he joined in on a American remake. He knew more people would watch it if it was American. So hey, I respect Christian Taftrup's point of view. If that's his actual point of view, just want people to see his story, I'm here for it. I support it. Hey, like me and Dustin say, support cinema. Watch the original and the remake, and you can just pick which one you like better. Like we're not 100% anti-remake. A lot of them are good.
Yeah.
Dustin, what are your final thoughts? And give us your letterbox review if you've got one.
Yeah. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to after we wrap this up. Pretty much, I'm at. What I'm going to include in it is that this movie is like a more sinister version of While We Were Young. While We Were Young is a A24 movie that I watched when I was on my journey. It's got Ben Stiller, Naomi Watts, and they meet this younger couple, Adam Driver and Amanda Seyfried, and they want to be friends with this younger couple because they're so cool. And then they end up not being cool. They're like douchebag leeches. So this is like a more sinister version of that movie. Um, I mean, I recommend seeing it because I recommend supporting cinema. But if you've seen the trailer, I feel like you've seen the movie. So if there's something else playing that you want to see, go see that instead. I'm at somewhere around a 3 out of 5 on my letterbox score. That's probably what I'll give it because McAvoy is fantastic. It is entertaining for what it is. It's just a story that I feel like we've seen before, and a movie I feel like I've seen because of the trailers.
I gotta say, I thought the gore at the end was pretty good too. Like the kills, I thought the kills were pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm probably
I didn't like seeing Sierra's face bounce off that pavement. R.I.P. my girl.
That was funny though. Hey,
Yeah.
just shout out to Mackenzie Davis being resourceful again, hiding behind the fucking chimney or behind the window thing or whatever. And when she climbs
Hmm.
through the window, knocks her over. Hey, shout out. Hey, Mackenzie Davis is the MVP of this movie for real.
Yeah. Although I did another negative I just thought of. Speaking of her character, and I'll shut up. But I felt like there was some of the dialogue in this movie. I felt like was just like shoehorned in for hot button topics, like her whole stance on guns and like the argument they were having. I was like, God, I see this argument on Twitter all the time. I don't want to listen to this shit right now. Thank God they didn't, like, it wasn't throughout the whole movie. It was just like a very brief conversation. But I hate when movies try to be so topical that they like force it in there. That wasn't a key point in the story, so there's no need to have them argue over guns or whatever and hunting animals and stuff. But I was like, all right, PETA, wrap this shit up.
Oh yeah, we were talking about like eating fish and all that stuff. You talking about
Well,
like that part?
no, this is earlier. So when they see the fox and he's like pest control or
Yep,
uh
yep. I know
you
what you're
know
talking about now.
animals, you have to balance the ecosystem, and she's like, oh yeah, the man-made gun is how nature intended it and all that. I was like, shut up. Scroll Twitter for 10 minutes and you'll see that exact conversation. Shut up, give me a break from it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not against like movies that try to tell a story or
I'm not either.
prove a point or have a political stance, but it's got to be executed well. Like I always say, Get Out,
Yeah,
I think does it very well, and
if
like
it
a lot of movies just don't do it well.
it's got to feel natural. That was just so random because that's not how the rest of there was these little things where they would have disagreements on philosophies of life and how to raise their children. That one just felt like it was out of nowhere, Randy Orton, and shoehorned in there. So didn't really care for it.
Yep, I agree. I'll give my letterbox. I can't even remember if I did a letterbox review, and I probably did, but I just can't remember anything these days. Uh, I think I did. If I did, it's probably a 4, 3.5, 4. I would watch this movie again. Like I considered going to see it again just because I got the
Wow.
AMC A list. Like, and it's not like 3 or whatever how many movies come out a week that I just need to go see. Like I saw Beetlejuice again last night. Had a good time with it. I would consider go seeing this again. Like I had fun with it. Like I enjoyed it, and I really just
You gave it
appreciate
a
good.
4.
Did I give it a 4? I thought I did. I just really enjoy good acting performances in horror movies. Like I really love characters who just go all out. Like I really love that stuff. Uh, yeah, I recommend going to see it if you have the the means, the money. Like don't force yourself. Save that for the blockbusters coming out in October. Terrifier 3. I know Dustin's excited for that one. But we appreciate y'all listening.
What your ass say?
I mean, yo ass. Shout out to Godfrey and Steve Harvey. Dustin, let's end this with what you like to say the most about supporting cinema.
Support cinema.
Hell yeah, brother.